So the tree I'm standing in front of is a locust tree. And a locust tree has thorns all over the tree, and there are several species of locusts in the U.S. The locust tree is a great natural resource because it lends itself well to things like fish hooks, things like needles, awls. What we're going to use it for today is we're going to take a thorn from this locust and we're going to use it for a pin. I'll show you how we're going to use that in a little while. But the locust tree is thought to have developed these thorns because it was a preferred food source of the woolly mammoth, who would wrap their trunk around the limbs, ripping the bark and leaves and branches, fragile branches off the tree. So it's thought that they developed these thorns over time to affect its own survival. So we're going to get one thorn off of this tree that's pretty good size. Now you got to be careful getting in here because, like I said, these things have thorns all over them, and it's not real easy sometimes to get them off. But I see a really nice heavy duty one back here that I'm going to try to get off of here. If I can keep from sticking myself. There's another one right here that's pretty good too. It might be a little more accessible. Sometimes if you just twist the cluster, they'll come off. We've got loose. Now, what we're going to do with this is we're going to cut it down probably to back in here. We'll leave a tab on this one and just cut it off here, and then we'll shave these off even so we just have the long needle itself, because that's what we need for our project. If we were going to make a fish hook, you know, something like this, cut off at the base and cut off here, and then shave short with a knife there where you can attach a piece of cordage to it or barrel lash it on there, will give you a primitive fish hook. You can also use this stuff for punching holes in fabric and leather as an awling device. You could drill a hole in it with a small drill bit and make a needle from it as well, or with the tip of your knife. Morning folks, I'm Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder School, and we just collected some water in this water tote. I'm going to teach you how to make this today. It's a very simple thing that you can make from a piece of canvas that you're already carrying, and you can carry larger amounts of water. I have over a gallon of water in here now. One decision that is certain in a camp life scenario is you can either be close to the water or close to the latrine, but you can't be close to both. So you have to make that decision for yourself. If you're going to walk some distance for your water, you may only want to go once or twice a day. Now you can carry canvas style buckets and things like that, and lots of old timers recommended that. What I'm going to show you today is an alternative method that you can use if you find yourself in a longer term scenario without a canvas bucket and you want to carry water over distance. And we're going to use a simple piece of canvas to make this water tote, and it's got well over a gallon of water in it. It's not leaking. It's very simple to make, very simple to carry. Carrying extra canvas in your kit is always a good idea, especially in a longer term camp life scenario where you may have to repair things like packs or tents or tarps. This is a 3 foot by 3 foot piece of canvas that I use a lot of times just to kneel on around base camp if I'm working on a fire, working on my stump anvil, sitting on the ground working on a wood project or something like that. It gives me a place that's dry to sit down that will protect my clothing from getting dirty. It also gives me a spare canvas sheet that I can use for any repairs, and at the same time I can make this tote to carry water over distance. I'm going to show you how to make this right now. Okay, so I brought this thing back to an area we had a table because it's kind of a folding design. I want you to be able to see that pretty easy. Let's talk about this for just a second before we start taking it apart. This is made out of canvas, and canvas is a natural material. It's natural to the environment, and it reacts well with the environment. If you've got pinholes in canvas, once it gets saturated with water, those fibers, those cotton fibers swell up and will help to seal those holes. So that natural fiber is reacting with the natural environment to help keep it waterproof. It's one of the things that I love about canvas and cotton materials, like Egyptian oilcloths and Egyptian cottons and this regular canvas duck. So canvas is always a good thing to carry. Now, I first found this design in a book about a pioneer boy's life. And it's kind of an obscure book, and it was just a line drawing in the book. So I thought, well, I'm going to go try that. And I've got to tell you that what I tried that was in the book did not work. So I had to make my own rendition of this that does work. Oftentimes when you see something in a book somewhere, you have to go out and test it to make sure it's going to work. There's lots of things that can happen. Maybe the person that put it in the book had never tried it himself. Maybe it got lost in translation somewhere further down the line as the book was reprinted. Maybe it was edited for content and there's things missing. But the drawing of this concept did not work that was in that book, but this does work as I just showed you a minute ago. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this apart. Now, I have one pin basically is holding all of this together, and then a rope tied at the top on this handle just to give myself a baggage type carrying handle, kind of like a carpet bag or suitcase situation. So what we need is a 3 foot by 3 foot piece of canvas. This one pin is through about 6 holes. So I'm going to take this out real quick and I'm going to show you. You've got a flap here and you've got 2 flaps here that pin is through. So if we unfold this like this, what we have is a triangle. Let me move the camera back a little bit so you can see that a little better, but I wanted to get you the up close view first. So we have our sticks and we have our thorn here. We have a piece of rope. I'll take that piece of rope off now. It's just got a 1/2 inch in it right here. And it's just a piece of natural rope as well. Natural cordage will work fine for this. And it's just got a jam knot tied into it right there. Okay. So I start off with a piece of canvas that is 3 foot by 3 foot square. And you can see it's still holding water on the inside here. Okay. We take that canvas and we fold it into a diamond configuration like this. Just like you would fold a bandana. Okay. Now at this point I generally will put this carrying handle on, and it's as simple as taking a turn or 2 of the fabric, rolling it over the stick like this, gathering it up and cinching a knot on there like this slipping type knot here. Just like this, over the top, pull it down tight, cinch it down, and then I just wrapped it a couple of times this way, like a cross lash, so to speak. And I caught that piece of fabric from underneath and came up, and then I just tied a 1/2 inch in it right there to hold it. And that became my handle on one side. You could tie that any way you want to. The important thing is that you just trap some fabric in here for a carrying handle. Okay, now the next step in this is to fold these 2 tabs over this way. So you fold one here and you fold one here. Now this is where the original design did not work, because the way the original design showed that I saw in the book was you pinned this here, you pinned this here, and then you took a pin and you pinned it here, and that gave you your open container. The problem is it leaks from here. Water can get inside here and come through and leak right out. So what I did was I took another fold in it right there to a corner. I took another fold in it right there to a corner. I made sure that both of these corners overlapped like this. And my pin's going through this one, it's going through this one, and it's going through this flap. So my pin is in like this, just like it was when we started. Then, because this is pinned, all I have to do is take this and put it right here in this fold, and that gives me the other side of my carrying handle, so that when I pick it up, I have a container. When I get back to camp, it's very easy to disassemble this thing and use it for whatever I need it for, like a leaning pad or whatever the case may be, or just take it apart and put it back in storage for later use, or leave it hanging in camp even with some water in it so that I can use it as I need it, and then take it back to wherever my fill-up point is or wherever my water source is and fill it up again. So it's a very, very simple concept. Okay guys, well I appreciate you joining me today for this short video on how to make a canvas water container from an existing piece of canvas. I thank you for your views and your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our family, and for our business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends, and I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.